We see ourselves as practitioners of Dharma. So the reason why I shared some part of my own personal experience and practice is to really bring home the point that all of us, each one of us, if we take our Buddhist practice seriously through cultivation through meditation, and the meditation really needs to combine both analytic meditation of deep inquiry into the nature of reality, understanding of compassion, and also internalization of that through meditative practice. So this combination of both resting meditation and analytic, discerning meditation is really the way to go. And if you are able to do this, you can really see a real difference even in your day-to-day life. Once you are able to cultivate a little bit of wisdom, you change the way you see the reality and your own existence. When you are able to cultivate compassion, then you really see the difference in your own day-to-day life. And those who are serious practitioners, if we dedicate more time to personal practice, we will also be able to have aspiration to attain higher levels of realization as well. So I urge all of you to make some effort.
나라도 남주 제 공부 차상서 보증아 동직በት 아니 동당야도 끊는 당야로 뜻이 암조 사서 치고르디 그게 공자야 더 사람 지 아주 상단데 투쇼된데 주의를 소시도 다가다 가도 나 보저 나 가서 응부든 저기 지 쉬우지게 또 초로침으로 시야디 고고그래 담이 차상 나고 차상도 저게 이제 고고그래디 이제 조조의 니지신도 창주고성도 동력이 따와려야 상무단한테 에는 상면 슉 떼우셔 후다 나셔 대야 칸에 셰셔가지고 말해 된 말하라는 게 얌용부터 하네 상무단 에니 세식에 고물로 그저 토도 시켜윤데 뭐냐 전에 카이라여긴 교대야지 연구도가 에는 나동 부저식 수셔이네 데 더그즈기 구조대야 또 가고래 엔데 창상을로야 지내 냠용부터 하네 다즉 상담이나 뒤에 서버로 샤용도가 그래서 식삼모임 뭐냐 전에 그 서버로 샤용데 아니 처로 상원로기 아니 전조 승지기 돈에 아니 장주고선도 돈이 따와려야 그저 토도기 아니 상로다 나쇼아선 나디 쉬야이 대게 엔다 간다지 최기 렉지 서르디 디 대상매 공부장 아니 후다 나쇼.
So, of course, as part of our own tradition in the monasteries, there are also rituals that are part of the traditions. In the Tibetan tradition, rituals involve, beating drums and playing cymbals and all these kind of musical instruments. And, of course, they are part of the tradition, but it is important for us to remember that is the ritual of these performance of rituals is not the most important one. Because if you focus too much on the rituals, the only thing that you get is all the noise these musical instruments create. Where we should really pay more attention and focus is the inner development, inner cultivation. And inner cultivation has to be done through, as I shared before, combination of this analytic and resting approach, resting the mind, focusing it, settling the mind, then applying it. And so that you can combine, and the focus of those two approaches has to be really cultivation of wisdom, some understanding of the nature of reality, and then cultivation of compassion, and particularly bodhicitta. And if we are able to do this, as I said earlier, in my case, they've become, if you spend some time on inner cultivation through meditation, these teachings become real, they become fresh, they become alive. It is, and in fact, by making these teachings come to life in you, you will really experience the fruits and the benefits of the Buddha's teachings. So, since many of us who are gathered here are practitioners, I really wanted to make this important point. So also, at the same time, urge all of you to, put more effort into your own daily practice.
나라도 배배 내다 독단 때 허브갈 독스 때에나 내다 교부 수사도 저리 이내 창조고 섬도 동력이 따라 섬도 도저요 봐 갱의 창조고 놈도 교리셔버 충분히나 지정의 갱의 마음을 중요한 저기 지금 섬나로리야 로지 용야다 아니 간다시게 남기 주야기 교리야 지금 신이 줘야 지기 사실은 인도 상매 아니 상로 동다가 더네 아니 가다 창조고 섬도 동력이 따라 슉 잡아야 돼 백해 처벌이 아니 갱의 창조롱도 교리셔버 주나 아니 가서 강의 상황 세토리
So I can also share with you that by engaging in this kind of inner development, and particularly focusing on wisdom and compassion, it really can help increase our courage as well. For example, in the case of my dealing with the current struggle and situation of Tibet, if you think just only about it from a narrow angle, you can lose your hope. But if you look at this crisis and look at this current situation from the broader perspective of the courage that the cultivation of bodhicitta and compassion gives you, then you can have a much more resilient mind. So even in your own life, day-to-day life, there might be problems which may seem enormous and unbearable, but if you have the courage that bodhicitta and these practices can give you, you will be in a much stronger position to actually turn adversities and difficulties, not be overwhelmed by them, but actually transform them creatively into opportunities as, sort of further, assistance on your own path. So this courage coming from the practice is a powerful tool for transforming, dealing with adversities and transforming adversities into opportunities.
도메 에네 사탄의 기회 밑도 보고 차대어리 에네 사사야리 슝디이드 도스 장 엔데 센줄레니 네 슝디이드 삼로 쇼 단데기 디 쇼지 그 로레야 판도 용대야다디 그 민도 너신다 사상가 로 장고야사디 경쟁디 소수 개변의 약수디 로 장배 토네 에네 영야지 다 상면에 후다 나로나 시샤인 엔터리 데 산제베 총고 산제베 총고리야 들데 어서 소셔 두스리 어디 미 출루 삼월로 미 가다 밀 편도야래 시라야고래 이네 심베 현조 송지가 토네 에네 제 터 서버다 다시 수수도 상다 현대어디 패지 낭베슈기 캐주 서비스 패지 차대샤 당가라 삼월로 된데게다 취수지 아저다 나란즈를 딱 가서 그렇게 네 지금 판매나 마 유대비 취수 차대요리 다디 렌단전지 임버지 모시베 토네 그저 톱두기 지금 냠렌천이 숙지되기 있나 아니 지금 정원이 되가는데 주로 매워 요래 아니 주로 담아도 요래 지금 디기 명할이야 뭐네 지게다 왜 산지에 쉬 냠렌천이 지금 디디 뭐네 지금 카요라여기 지금 좀저를 걸어 동야도 가서 버지 쇼나 뒤때배 샴딘 주리 때배 거진 소야리 산지 삼월로 공부하시 아니 후다나 쇼
So in my own case, I was a young child born in the remote part of Tibet, in the northeastern part of Tibet, and brought to central Tibet. And ever since, I had the opportunity to be schooled in the study of the Buddhist texts. And, many of these Buddhist texts are treatises written by great Indian masters, and which really present these teachings on wisdom and compassion. And I have personally found them to be deeply impactful while in Tibet, and especially ever since coming into exile. I've familiarized myself with these texts, contemplated on the content of these teachings, and I personally find them to be a powerful source, not just for personal practice, but also mental resilience, to give me courage. And I think this is really important to keep in mind. Today we have a large gathering of representatives from various Buddhist countries. This is an international gathering. Of course, Buddhism is one among many religions on this planet. Yes, all great major traditions of the world carry a message that is same, love, compassion, and so on. But I would say that what makes Buddhist, the Buddha Dharma unique is the richness of the resources that are found in the tradition for inner development, particularly through the combination of what I called analytic, approach and more concentrative, restful meditation practice. The meditation practice is very rich and aimed at transforming our own mind. So that, I think, is an important feature of Buddha Dharma. And if we, recognize this, and if we embody it in our day-to-day life, then the fruits of that embodiment will be obvious to everybody, not just to Buddhists. There are many different faith traditions in this world. There are also many people who do not subscribe to any particular tradition. But for all of them, if we as Buddhists can illustrate through our own life the benefit and value of Buddha Dharma, I would say this would be a service to the Buddha Dharma. This would be a way of saying thank you, expressing our gratitude to our teacher, Buddha. So this is something that I wanted to share with you.
Ja, schön. Da schön da in ich想到是这样的车路可以要没车要么呗但是呢小什么个路주사를 땅에 저도도 다데 칼라사들
So, and I've had a very early breakfast, so it seems to be my getting closer to the time when I'm getting hungry.
투시
Thank you all.
투시
Thank you, His Holiness, for the precious pearls from the vast ocean of your wisdom. The gratitude we owe to His Holiness is beyond any description and cannot be adequately expressed in words. Nevertheless, it's time for customary vote of thanks. May I request Venerable Sharatse Khensur Rinpoche Jangshub Choiden, Deputy Secretary General IBC, for vote of thanks, please.
Good morning to Your Holiness, and good morning to all the dignitaries on the dais and dignitaries and brothers and sisters and ladies and gentlemen in front of me. I would like to present the vote of thanks from the organizer side, the International Buddhist Confederation. First of all, I would like to present my vote of thanks to Your Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, most respected Tenzin Gyatso, for your very inspiring and your very eloquent and precious sharing of inner experiences that you have gained throughout your life. I do believe very strongly your sharing of experiences will guide our life. And it is not just for us. You have been kind of a source of inspiration for millions and millions of people on this planet. And you're still inspiring many more. And I believe very strongly that there will be many generations coming up that will be kind of fully get inspired by your messages and your lifestyle. So we all respect you from the depth of our heart. And at the same time, since it's my duty to present the vote of thanks, I thank you very much for your such an eloquent and valuable speech. And we need your presence and we need your guidance continuously for many more decades. So I do request on this stage to please take good care of yourself and live long and keep guiding us. And next, I would like to present my vote of thanks to our eloquent speaker, Professor Dr. Robert Thurman, for his wonderful presence and wonderful presentation of the academic kind of gatherings and academic deliberations. And then next, I would like to present